I've just finished watching the 2023 Dutch Grand Prix, which is 1. A convenient way to open this video, and B. highlights how embarrassingly long it takes me to make videos. A sudden shower right at the start of the race, mixed up the order good and proper, and teams reacted in different ways, leading to a messy lap chart, and I was overwhelmed with the feeling of déjà vu, like I've been to this place before, etc. 16 years, Christ, we saw something very similar. In this sprint video, allow me to share with you the story of the bizarre start to the 2007 European Grand Prix, or the more clickable title, the craziest start in F1 ever. This is Marcus.
Guten Tag.
27 at the time, son of the late F1 driver Manfred Winkelhock, and is seeing his test driver role at Spiker get something of an upgrade, following on from the departure of usual driver Christian Albers. Now today Marcus is a mighty fine GT driver, one of the best when you look at what he's achieved over the last decade or so, but his single-seater career, nothing really to write home about. He's alright, but F1? Bit of a jump, and coming mid-season wasn't going to make things any easier for him. If you're not up on your mid to late 2000s form book, the Spiker team were proper backmarkers, so no matter what, he and teammate Adrian Sutil were going to be amongst the slowest anyways. And indeed, Sutil qualified 21st and Marcus Winkelhock 22nd and last. But when you look at the difference between the two, 1.5 seconds. Ouch. Like I highlighted, it was never going to be easy. I guess in situations like this, you just have to try and have a clean race and bring it home. On race day, all attention was at the front. Raikkonen and Alonso looked out the front row with Massa starting just behind. Championship leader Lewis Hamilton was starting 10th after his shunt in Q3 the day before. How many places could he make up? What would happen when the McLaren and Ferraris went into turn 1? And what are those clouds doing?
For but certainly absolutely no sign whatsoever of rain.
Tension and excitement builds as the cars pull up on the grid. All 22 of them. No wait, 21. As Winkelhock, the man who was the thick end of 3 seconds slower than the next slowest car which wasn't his teammate, dived into the pits for wets. Track looks pretty dry to me, but you do you, champ. As the lights go out, the heavens open. Massa passes Alonso into second and Hamilton jumps 5 places after negotiating his way around the two BMWs in strife, only to pick up a puncture at the rear. David Coulthard shot off the track, 1999 style, and conditions got worse and worse and worse. Rain had been expected just after the start, but it was coming down harder than any had predicted. Going down the back straight and into the chicane, it was fully tippy-toe territory. Grooved tyres don't offer much mechanical grip at the best of times, but add water to the mix? No brainer. Everyone would need wets. Incredibly, leader Kimi Raikkonen missed the chicane, as did a few others, but worse was to come seconds later when he understeered wide trying to go into the pit lane. He would have to do another lap on these cold, grooved dries. After this first lap, Raikkonen leads on very suboptimal tyres. Massa second, Alonso third, Wirtz fourth, up from 12th. 5th was Trulli, 6th Webber, 7th incredibly was Sato up from 16th, Fisichella 8th, 9th Button from 17th, and in 10th place it's only Winkelhock, just 10 seconds off the lead and on the right tyres. Unnoticed by most, I must say. That all changed a minute or so later. As Raikkonen struggled around on his dry tyres, Winkelhock was taking chunks out of him. By the time Raikkonen reached the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit, the penny dropped. Diving down the inside of the eventual world champion of that season, Marcus Winkelhock on his wet tyres slid past the Ferrari into the lead of the race. He broke the beam at the start-finish line with a lap time of 1 minute 57.589. Get this, 23 seconds faster than anyone else. Massa was second over the line, and this 27-year-old rookie in the slowest car in the field, who was over 5 seconds off the fastest lap in qualifying, was in the lead by lap 2 by 19 seconds. On to lap 3, and this is where conditions got silly. Turn 1 at the revised GP circuit is a real tricky corner. It's high speed going into a tight hairpin where the approach is curved and crucially downhill. Lots of water plus gradient equals rivers, which spells bad news. The first to come a cropper was Massa, who had skillfully, or perhaps luckily, scrubbed off enough speed to just run wide, unlike Jenson Button, who skated off into the gravel and then into the tyres. He was promptly followed by Hamilton, Sutil, Rosberg, speed, Davidson almost. With conditions undrivable, the safety car was deployed, and we then witnessed the two scariest moments of this carnage. Quick Reactions presented a nasty collision between the Mercedes safety car and the Toro Rosso of Liuzzi, who thankfully wasn't going any faster, as he just missed a tractor in the gravel trap. This was the last straw for the opening of the race, and the red flag was flown not late after, not before Lewis Hamilton had helped himself to a poor man's airlift. All this action in just 4 laps. When the red was put out, Winkelhock had found himself with a 33.5 second lead. Naturally, when things all dried up and the race got back underway, dear Marcus was easily swallowed up by the pack, and sadly his race would end on lap 13 with a hydraulics issue, but who cares? He earned himself a place in F1 folklore, and he did so from just 4 laps. Truly one of F1's maddest days and its craziest ever start.